Make the United States a manufacturing superpower and the world capital of artificial intelligence and crypto.
Marc Beckman is here. He's the CEO of DMA United, and author of the book, Some Future Day, How AI is Going to Change Everything. Marc, great to talk to you, sir. Thank you for being here. I think most normal, regular people are still early on this AI thing, and we've kind of heard of it, and I've dabbled in ChatGPT, and Perplexity is one that I've used a little bit here and there to minor significance. So I don't even think we understand fully how to grasp AI and what it is and what it could be. How do you think about this?
Mike, first, I want to thank you for having me on your show. I'm a big fan of yours. I listen to you every morning starting at 6 a.m. I never miss a day. I love you.
Thank you, brother.
And I want to tell you that we are on the precipice of a radical change for all of society. I believe this. I think it's inevitable. Unlike other people, I think it's going to happen faster than others. I believe in a 3 to 5 year window, we're going to see a major overhaul of the way that society functions because of emerging technology. And I believe that you just played this clip of President Trump, and I believe that the Trump administration's forward-looking vision as it relates to unlocking American ingenuity for both artificial intelligence and cryptocurrency will play a critical role. We as a culture need regulation, but I don't look at it, and I know that you're going to get a little cuckoo with that word right now, but stick with me for a second and follow my logic. During the Biden administration, there was tons of uncertainty. The SEC chairman was a disaster. And as a result of the uncertainty, the lack of guidance, the lack of regulation, tons of investment dollars, as well as talent went overseas. What President Trump is doing by putting together, he just launched this new executive order. He made it very clear we have a crypto and AI czar and David Sachs, and he's putting together teams to define how the AI space and the crypto space will work in America moving forward. This definitive guidance, this, let's say, a re-regulation of sorts, because I'm anti-regulation too, but this specific guidance is going to allow for billions of dollars in investment to flow in, which we're already seeing from companies like SoftBank, as well as talent coming back into America. And with that, we'll see tons of growth. What my book does for people is it lays out how they can use artificial intelligence to improve their career, their community, and their family today. Every section of my book breaks that down. If you are a beginner and you've never used AI, but you're hearing everybody talk about it, my book will provide you with the tools that you can use to enhance your career, your family, and your city today.
Okay, very intriguing. So we've done a special or two on artificial intelligence before, and just my instinct is it's more hesitant and I don't like this thing. It's a standoffish and cynical, whatever you want to call it. But now I'm starting to embrace this a little more and be like, okay, all right, first of all, if we don't use it, China will. And how can we really use it in a positive way? How can we use it as a tool? Like we use all the technologies you and I are using right now. So can you run through a couple of examples of how this can be used for good?
Okay, so practically speaking, from a very simplistic perspective, all of your viewers, all of your listeners, they could use artificial intelligence right now, like ChatGPT, for example, for search purposes. Let's face it, Google is about to be disrupted. When you and I and all of your listeners and viewers use Google, it's not really a great experience. In many ways, it's clunky and it's antiquated. You end up with tons of ads, you end up with tons of links, but it's not really answering your question. If you download ChatGPT right now and you use it regularly just for search purposes, you can put a ton more text and get a lot more detail out of it. So that's a good starting point. That's on the algorithm side. That's the software. On the hardware, this is another great area where people can get involved with AI in a safe way. Think in terms of creating efficiencies. Mike, I hear you always talking about creating efficiencies. Well, here's an area where people can take hardware like Nest and put it into their home and figure out how they could effectively regulate their temperature and save money, conserve. It's a great way to start. And then finally, what I think is really exciting as it relates to artificial intelligence is unlocking American ingenuity. Think, for example, with the creative fields. If you want to become a fashion designer, a filmmaker, a book writer, or perhaps even a music maker, there are tools that artificial intelligence has today where anybody from young children to octogenarians can access, and right now through text prompts create short films. They can write books. They could even launch their own fashion collection. I look at emerging technology, Mike, in a very interesting way. I see this sort of iron triangle. There are three components to this upcoming transformation of society. Artificial intelligence could create original content. So think in terms of product design, ad campaigns, messaging, and communications. The second part of the iron triangle is social media. And that's where the activation and the messaging can come through for the individual. And the third piece is cryptocurrency, where anybody could be paid in any way they like. And it's this iron triangle, AI, crypto, and social media, that's going to allow for those innovative dreamers, the individuals who want to become the next fashion designer, the next Hollywood filmmaker, the next writer, who don't have the capabilities of connecting with the Gucci's of the world or the MGMs of the world. Well, now in their home, on a very small budget, they have the ability to leverage this new technology and bring their vision to life and start a business on their own that will allow for them to generate wealth, create wealth.
Very good. Let's bring in now, you mentioned a couple American versions of this. What do you know about DeepSeek, the Chinese version of this? Is this a problem in your vision?
It's a big problem. So let me tell you, like the sheep Americans often are, we all chased the shiny object, DeepSeek, and it's a problem. We all went into it. It's a good product. They've built a good product, and I could get into the whole ecosystem and the NVIDIA piece of it also. But let me tell you the problem. Let me address this with you directly. The problem, Mike, is that the terms of service that everybody enters into, and keep in mind, this became the #1 most downloaded app on the Apple Store. Over 2 million people downloaded it right away. Huge numbers. The agreement for the user says that your data will be stored on a server in China. When that data is stored on a server in China, the Chinese government is permitted to access those servers and in turn access your data. So what does this mean? Mike, it's a big problem. All of the data that you put in to set up your account is now accessible by the Chinese government. Let's say, for example, a business leader is putting proprietary information, uploading or prompting DeepSeek with some proprietary information, and unknowingly puts in, let's say, critical information about how to run their business every single day. That information now is accessible by the Chinese government. So it could be your date of birth, your driver's license. It could be, trademarked information. As you're very well aware, the Chinese government really could care less about our intellectual property. So there are a lot of problems as it relates to privacy and security with DeepSeek.
Great point. We got about 60 seconds or so. We played this clip of Chamath talking about the need for American technological supremacy. Do we have that? Do you think we're at risk of losing it?
I believe that we are right now in a lead position. However, what DeepSeek showed us is that for both the hardware component as well as the software component, they're catching quickly. It's time for Americans to compete. If we want to lead, we can't only isolate them. Like Senator Hawley, I think you might be aware, is trying to create a protectionist type of bubble around American businesses in the AI space. We're not going to be effective there. We need to dig into American entrepreneurs, and we need to take the lead and beat them in the good old-fashioned way.
And do you think Trump's the guy to do this? Do you think he has the right mindset and vision?
100%. Not even an issue. 100%.
Super encouraging. Marc Beckman is here, CEO, DMA United. Go buy the book, Some Future Day, How AI is going to Change Everything, and you can personally use it in your life, the wisdom from that book. And if I could put a plug in, Marc, for an interview you did with Melania Trump, where can people find that and listen to that as well as buying your book?
So that was on my show, Some Future Day. It's on all major platforms, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate that.
Beautiful. Marc, great to talk to you. Some Future Day is the name of the book as well. Go get it. Thanks, Marc. Great to talk to you, brother. Hope we can do it again.